Hey, we're going to give you a little demo today of the Distressor, which is the first Empirical Labs product, and we're going to show you some upgrades which we've added for users that have owned Distressors before, and we'll show you some of the tricks you can do with the old original box and with some of the new modifications. We're going to start out with a radical demo here. This is a 2 tracks of drums, basically a close mic and a room mic. We're going to start with the room mic, which is in this lower Distressor. I'm going to go to a very radical setting. We have digitally switched ratios. The ratios not only switch the actual curves, but they actually in many cases switch circuitry, which affects time constants, curves, and even program dependency. I'm going to go to nuke, which is the highest of all ratios, and I'm going to start with a very aggressive attack and release of about 3, and I'm going to turn the output up here and slowly let you hear the original signal. This is uncompressed, and unlike many compressors, you affect the ratio by actually turning up the input, driving into the compression circuitry. We now have about 10 dB of compression. For many compressors, 10 dB is a lot. It's an extreme amount. For the Distressor, 10 dB is so fast and smooth you can hardly even hear it. In fact, I'm going to just skim off the peaks. This is with. This is without. You can see it's quite fast. It doesn't affect the signal. It's just skimming off the peaks. However, if I increase the input, adding more compression, this is without. That's with. With about 17 dB of compression here. You can hear it's starting to take on the sound of a larger room. Kind of John Bonhamish. If I keep going, this is now about 23 dB of compression. A lot of compression for any compressor, but I can keep going here. This is now about 30 dB of compression. If I bypass, you can see quite a bit of difference here. And actually, if you look at the actual peak output level, we're actually the same peak output level, but obviously the apparent difference in volume is drastic. Also, we give you a wide range of attack and release. If I take the same signal and start adding attack, it sounds like the guy's hitting the drums harder. Conversely, if I go the other way, this is now sounding more just like a reverb. A typical use for something like this might be to take this smashed room and mix it up underneath a close mic. Up here I have a closer mic. I'm going to add some compression to it. Let me turn down this mic. Here is an overhead microphone with a very slow attack, letting the transients through. Now if I add this other mic up underneath it, again you've got kind of a built-in reverb there with almost no artificial ambience. Turn this back down. Just to show you again too, we click through different ratios here. Here's a 2 to 1. This is a very gentle ratio on the overheads. 3 to 1 is very similar, just a little bit more gradual. And 10 to 1 is an opto, which I'm going to give you a demo of in a while. It simulates an LA2A, an old classic compressor from the 60s with tubes in it. We can also add grunge and distortion, simulating some of the tubes if we want. Actually, let me go back down to this one where we can take the room mic. Let me go to Opto. I'm adding distortion now, and if you listen, that's without, quite a bit different.